Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Monday, it is March 21st, and I have gotten settled back into my routine a little bit and have been doing some planning and some stitching today, and I wanted to share with you what happened. I was able to stitch today virtually with a friend of mine from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Mary. Hi Mary, if you're watching. We had a delightful time to catch up, and we stitched together, and I was working on one of my Easter pieces that I had taken with me on my trip. And then, as luck would have it, after I did laundry and other things during the day, I had an opportunity to stitch virtually again tonight for a little while with some ladies that I retreated with at Julie McConnell's retreat this year. So I got to stitch on it again. Well, the good news is I finished it. So this is the pattern. It is a Tralala Chasse, and I apologize again for my poor French because I don't speak French. But anyway, here is my egg hunt. I just love it on this fabric. I hope you can see that well. I'll try to get it. There you go. It's kind of a purpley pink, beautiful hand-dyed fabric. It is called Mixed Berry, and it's by Wilchelt. I don't know where it was purchased because it was a gift from my son a couple of Christmases ago, and I've held on to it till now, and I thought this was the perfect piece for it. So there's my little bunny with her, oh, I'm sorry, I hit the stand. There's my little bunny with her carrots that she's been pulling. Obviously, if she's hunting for her egg, she's missed it because it's right behind her, hanging on the tree, hanging on that pretty little plant. I love the colors. I think they're quite beautiful. I used a mixture of the called for flosses, the ones that I had, and the ones I didn't have, I just used the DMC equivalent for them. So it was about half and half, I guess, but that's what it looks like, and I think it's really pretty. So now I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with it. I don't know whether I want to finish it in a stand-up the way they did. It looks like it's on a little cube. But I'm thinking I may run to Hobby Lobby tomorrow and just see what kind of pretty things they have over there that might make a pretty backdrop for this, or a stand or something like that that I could put it on so I can put it out for Easter. Very excited about that finish. Glad to have it. So what are my plans coming up? Well, as you know, I'm getting ready to go on a retreat. So I'm doing one more thing. I am looking at my prompts for the week to see what I can take with me and what I have to do here. And one prompt, and one prompt only, is something I can't take with me, and that is my Hawk Run Hollow. I need to stitch on it to meet a prompt. And so tomorrow, I'm gonna pull that out because I have to get a minimum of 300 stitches on that thing to meet my prompt. So I think I'll want to do that first thing in the morning and get that done. And then I get to pick and pack my stitching to take with me to the retreat. So I'm sure that some of it will be almost the same as what I took with me on the cruise, except I have now finished 3 of those. Today's finish was the 3rd of those that I took with me. So I still have on Q-Snaps what I can take with me: Dogwood lace. I still have Will You Be My Valentine, and I still have Enchanted Alphabet. So those 3 may be making the trip with me. Anyway, that's my report for the day. I have had a lovely day of stitching. I went shopping a little bit today for things to take with us for the retreat, because we can have lunches or snacks, in the room. And I wanted to take a few things with me for that, to share with friends, and to have, so I don't have to run out all the time to eat. And that way we'll get more stitching done. I hope that you are having a great week of stitching. I certainly have been, and Donna was teasing with me tonight because she was on one of my Zoom meetings today, stitching together. And when I finished my Chasse while we were stitching, and she said, I thought you were taking that with you to the retreat because I had originally planned to do that. But you know how I get. It got really close to a finish and I couldn't stand it anymore. I just had to go ahead and finish it. And it is Easter, so I wanted to get it done. So we'll see. Well, have a great, great rest of your evening. It's kind of late here, so I'm going to head to bed. Coco has long ago given up on me. And then I will have, hopefully, a stitching update for you tomorrow. Happy stitching, everyone. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina and today is the 22nd of March. It's a Tuesday and I was stitching on a prompt today and it's a prompt asking me to stitch on something that reminds me of spring. So I pulled out Spring at Hawk Run Hollow because this definitely screams spring to me. I am into the first block here, and in case you can't see it as clearly as I hope you can, this is a brick house window and you're looking at it from the outside, and all of these little birds and the squirrel are on the outside of the house, and you're it's like you're standing in the front yard looking at it, but you don't see anything on the inside of the house. You're just seeing what's on the outside, which is kind of neat, different perspective. But I was stitching on this prompt and I had to have at least 300 stitches today. So I thought, oh, when I have to have 300 or more stitches and I want to do it fairly quickly, I look for a portion of my pattern, if I can, that allows me to do just lines of stitching, straight lines of stitching or block stitching. So today I did window borders. So I did this bottom brown border all the way across. I did this entire window section and I did this entire window section, and then I came down here and started the bottom border of the window that's going to go all the way across like the one at the top. So I wound up getting 360 stitches in it today. Wonderful. So I love it. I think it's coming along well. Every time I work on it, it gets prettier and prettier and more. The picture comes to life a little bit more. I'm enjoying watching it develop. That's all for today. I will let you get back to what you were doing. I'm going to call it a night because it is close to midnight, I think. I wanted to finish that prompt tonight on Hog Run Hollow because I just didn't want to have to take that big one with me. And I wanted to get that done. So, going well today, getting stitching done today. I have a lovely day tomorrow. I get to talk to my sister Stephanie in the morning, and then I get to meet a friend for lunch that I haven't caught up with in quite a while, and I'm looking forward to hearing about her trip to her mother's, and she's looking forward to hearing about my trip on the cruise. So we'll have a great time talking while we have lunch together, and then after that, I'll be able to come home and stitch. So I will share with you obviously what I get done if I can tomorrow, if I get to stitch tomorrow. And then Thursday I'll be traveling. So I might not get to stitch any Thursday, we'll see. If we get there soon enough in the afternoon, we might be able to. But our stitching room doesn't open until Friday morning, as I mentioned before. And but I did learn that a lot of people are coming in early and we can stitch in the lobby, and that there's a breakfast area that they don't use except for breakfast, and so we would be able to stitch there. So I have a feeling we're going to take over that hotel lobby. Anyway, I'll let you know. And until we talk again, I wish you happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Dina and this is Wednesday. It's the 23rd of March and I am here to give you what I think will be my last stitching update before retreat. I leave tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about it. I have been trying to do some preparation on some pieces to take with me today, and I've worked on one in particular that I want to share with you. And now I'll probably be packing all my stitching up and finish packing my suitcase. I have just a couple of things left to put in there, and I'll be ready to leave out of here tomorrow. I'm pretty excited. So I'll hope to do some little clips while we're gone to the retreat to share with you. But today what I was working on is Time for New Beginnings, and this is a twin peak primitive pattern, my first one from them. And I love the pattern. It's very easy to follow. It's nice and large print, easy to see. It's great. So I'm worked on this today for two reasons. One, I had a prompt that I was to stitch either 300 or 400 stitches, my pick, on a piece that represented something new and fresh. So here's how I say this meets that. I have this pattern with a new little Easter chick on there, and I think that's the new. And then these beautiful flowers that are draped all around that sheep, I think those are fresh. I think they look vibrant and freshly picked, and so that's representing fresh for me. So that's how I met it, and I did go ahead and stitch 402 stitches in it because I wanted to prep this for my retreat. I wanted to get some stitching done where I could just do fill-in work at the retreat. So here's where I got to with my 402 stitches. I went ahead and completed the rest of these flowers and greenery on every section of the piece except right here. There are 2 flowers draping down here with a little bit of greenery. So that'll be real easy to grab when I pull it out the next time. But I wanted to stop where I was now because I have a lot to do to get ready to go. So I just wanted to hit my prompt and then put this away and pack it up for the retreat. But in case you were wondering, well, what are you doing to prepare for the retreat? What I did was I had already stitched a while back this little section to show me the shadow, the shading on the back of the sheep. But in looking at that, I realized that with all these flowers and greenery draping around the sheep's body, I would have to count very carefully, you know, so many skip 1 or 2, so many skip 1 or 2. And if I just went ahead and stitched them first, they're in place. And now when I pick up my ecru to stitch that shaded portion of the sheep's back, I will just go ahead and do the rest of that outline, and then everything else in there will be filled in. And then the next easy part to do would be to do the outline of the sheep here, because it's just a solid body, and fill it in. So that will make great retreat stitching. So all the stitching that would be laying on top of that sheep's body in the picture that I would have to count for, it's all filled in, and I can just stitch now. So I think this one's ready for retreat. I hope to get some work done on it. I'm looking forward to it. I would like to get some work on it because it's an Easter piece, and I don't know if I can finish it before then, but I really would like to. So there you have Time for New Beginnings. It's Promises of Easter series. So that's what I got done today. I thank you for letting me share my progress today, and then I will come back as soon as I can after retreat and update you on how well it went. In the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. Hi everyone. It is still the 23rd of March, and I have been packing up and getting ready to go on retreat. And now that I've got my desk all cleaned off and everything's out of the way, I felt like it was a great time to share some information with you. I was recently contacted by the manufacturers of a desk lamp. They also make a floor lamp, and it's the BenQ desk lamp. And they asked if I would be willing to evaluate the product for them and I agreed to do that because, as you know, light is so very important to all of us in the stitching community. And I have 2 floor lamps that I use for my stitching, and I have to turn both of them on directed at my work in order to see, because I'm in this upstairs, you know, above the garage space with one little small light in the ceiling, and it doesn't cut it very well. So I have to use both of my floor lamps even during the day to really see well. So I was quite interested in seeing how the BenQ desk lamp was going to work for me. So it arrived while I was on my vacation, and it came beautifully packaged. Nothing was broken, everything was great. Got home and unwrapped it, and I actually will have a picture I'll insert here of the box for you to show you how it arrived. And then I read the quick start guide. They have a quick start guide that tells you really easily how it works and how to set it up. And this is something I wanted to share with you because this is the surface area that you're lighting. Because of the shape of the lamp, this LED lamp really lights up a large amount of workspace. And they're illustrating, you know, depending on how you have it set up is fine. You just need to put yourself and your work sort of in the middle of the light itself. So you can stretch the lamp out of the way and drop it down, or you can have it higher up to go above your computer screen. So this was helpful to me in helping me position the lamp so that I got the best benefit out of it. So I'm going to tell you about how it worked for me. I'm gonna back up over here in a minute and show it to you on my desk so you can see how modern and sleek it looks. But first of all, just let me tell you that I love it. I absolutely love it. It's not on right now. I'm gonna turn it on. Can you tell the difference? I know that it's not the perfect lighting for filming, but for stitching, it's fabulous. It lights up my entire stitching area on my desk. I work at my desk. I stitch at my desk. I have a floor stand here, and I have a lap stand that I use on my desk if it's small enough. When I work with my floor stand, I put my rods in it and my roller frame in it or my Q-snap in it, and I pull it over here to my desk so I can see it. It's sort of the other long end rests on my desk. So I can move this lamp on my desk and put it right where I need it so that I can see. It's easy to do. Now, this is the fun part. I'll take you up and show you in a minute what I'm doing, but it's quite easy to turn on and off, and it will reposition. I can put it down this way and put the lamp here so that it's right above my work, or I can do it like I had it there where it was giving me a much broader, larger work surface that included my laptop or my iPad so that I can see what I'm looking at in my iPad as well. So I want to let you know, this is the AR15_D, and it is the BenQ, that's B-E-N capital Q, Genie e-reading lamp. So today I went on Amazon because, with full disclosure here, they offered me to evaluate the lamp at no cost to me. So I didn't have a clue how much this thing would sell for. I found it on Amazon. I found it on a couple of other sites, and they have a website. So I will be putting their website information. I will put down their Amazon link, and I even have a BenQ Twitter link I'll put in the description box for you so you can find it if you're interested. It isn't inexpensive. It was about $162 to $168 in the sites that I found. But if I add up how much I've spent on all these lamps I'm trying to use, it was more than that. And I'm not getting nearly the light that I get with this one desk lamp. So I'm going to turn my camera around. It'll be just a second for you. It'll look like a hard break for you because I have to turn it off to do that. But I would just want to walk you around and show you how sleek this lamp is. I think it is quite smart looking, and you can use it for a reading lamp. You can use it for a craft lamp. Our cross stitching that we do, crocheting, any kind of craft that you want to do. Because I think it will fit on any desk. The base is nice and sturdy. It's not terribly heavy, but it is nice and sturdy so it doesn't fall over easily when you're stretching it out to stretch across your work. So let me turn you around now and just tell you about it as you look at it. Hang on. Okay, here we are. This is the lamp. Isn't that sleek looking? When you get it and put it together, there are instructions, very easy to follow instructions on how to attach the lamp to the pole. And if you notice, you hide the cording, it fits in a slot. So it's not in the way on your desk. It comes out right at the bottom, right at the base, and then you can plug it in. Here's the setup I have. So now this is what I wanted to show you. If you want to see the floor version of this, go check out Marlene Stitching by the Lake, because she did a floor evaluation of this lamp. But this is how you turn it on. You just touch that ring. And that's also how you turn it off. Now I'm going to back up so you can see kind of the spread of that light, how far down it is, you know, lighting up that desk beautifully. And you do have control over how bright you want it, and there's even a different shade there, like a softer light if you need it. I like mine bright for crafting at night, and so I've turned mine to more of a white light, but that's what the knob is for. It just adjusts the brightness of your light and the color of it. So I did want to share it with you. I think it's beautiful, and now there's one lamp I can move. And there's a second lamp I can move. And hopefully I will be able to just use the one, you know, for my stitching from now on. But I'll back up again. Sorry for the movement. I just want you to get to see it, you know, and how pretty it looks, because I do think it's quite attractive. It's white and it has silver and gray on the light itself. And so I think that's could go in anyone's decor, you know, without any trouble. But the main thing I wanted to tell you about is how much I like the brightness of it, and I think it's quite effective for me in my stitching. So it's a thumbs up for me. I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that you'll give it a consideration if you're in the market for a lamp. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Dina. It is March 27th. I am coming to you right after getting home from my TSGG Stitchers Retreat in Helen, Georgia. We started the retreat officially on the 25th, but since my roommate was president of the guild this year, my friend Donna and I rode up a little ahead of time on Thursday night to allow her to help them set up and get ready. And so I got an extra evening of stitching with some of the attendees of the retreat that decided to come up Thursday night to get settled in before the retreat actually officially opened at 11 o'clock Friday morning. So this is my name tag. What they did is they just printed out the Sampler Guild of Georgia Retreat 2022. There's our needle and thread, and we just wrote our name on here and dropped it into our name tag, our pin-on name tag, and we wore these so we could easily learn each other's names, especially those of us who were new. This was not my first year to be in the guild, but because of COVID and not being able to have a retreat, it was my first retreat with them. So that was wonderful. I think I'll start by sharing with you the stitching gifts that some of my friends and table mates gifted to me while we were at the retreat. People are so generous when they come and they know they're going to get together with friends. So the first one is from my friend Karen Macon. She doesn't do FlossTube, or I'd give you her channel. But she had gone and picked up notepads for us in case we enabled each other. And she had spring colors. I picked pink. Several picked green. They were yellow. It was just lovely. So Karen, thank you for that. I'm going to whip that open later and start using it. And then Becca from My Stitchy Home, I brought everybody a cozy, and she actually had them printed with her channel name on them. Watching FlossTube makes me thirsty, it says. So there's our little drink cozy. I thought that was real sweet of her. I think she gave one to everybody there. And then one of my table mates is Victoria, and she has Victoria's Crafty Room, and she makes project bags. She used to sell them quite a bit, and she said she's sort of gotten out of that now, and what she's doing is gifting what she has left of her inventory to her friends, and I was the lucky recipient of this one. Look at all those beautiful sewing motifs on the inside. Beautiful red, orange. And on here, she makes her pulls from DMC, makes the tassels herself. And look at that little thimble, or not thimble, but you know, spool of thread. That precious, she made that herself. I love it. And of course it goes perfectly with all the spools of thread in the jars inside. There's the red tomatoes. Perfect. I love it. And she always gives you a skein of floss when you buy a bag. So I don't know if she has any left on her store, but this is Victoria's Crafty Room. If you want to give her a look and see what else she might have out there for you. And we had a great time visiting, and Victoria was had a battle with the wind and had some sinus allergies when she came, and we teased her because her voice just disappeared and she was talking like Minnie Mouse. So she was Minnie Mouse the whole weekend. But Victoria, I love my bag. Thank you so much. I'll put that to very good use. So those were my gifts that were from friends. And then we had little prizes, door prizes. And so you got a ticket when you came in for a door prize, and they just drew for them throughout the weekend. And my number finally came up, and I want you to see what I got for my door prize. Aren't those beautiful? Beautiful scissors. They have a tassel, and the tassel charm has 25 on it. And I believe that stands for the 25th, because that was the day that our retreat officially started. So these are my newest pair of scissors. I think they're beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't know if you can see them because of the light. I'll try. There you go. These are little floral motifs here, little flowers all around. So pretty. So those are going in my scissor frog is I guess what they call it, the scissor holder. So that was my door prize. Now, we also had little gifts that everybody got, and they came around and gave them to us throughout the weekend. One of them was this little sticker. Any of y'all that like stickers? It says, keep calm and cross that stitch, and it's got 3 X's above it, and then it's got a little tomato pincushion here, and a hoop here, and a pair of scissors. Isn't that precious? That's gonna go in my book of days, I guarantee that. So that'll be fun. I'm putting it over there so I can save that. And then we got some other things that go with something else, so I'm gonna save that and show it to you in a moment. And then, as you know, we did a needlebook exchange, and I shared my needlebook already in a previous video, but I want to share the one that I got at the exchange. Isn't that beautiful? just beautiful stitching. I love the fabric it's on, just gorgeous. And then when you open it up, look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous inside? And then there are my needles. I've got pages for needles, and they're this beautiful blue felt. You open them up. I've got several needles in here and 2 beautiful counting pins, all in this lovely bright blue and green to complement this design. My friend Donna stitched this one. What are the chances that I would get hers? I was so excited. She had shown me a picture of it when she first stitched it and said, this is how mine is looking. And I said, it's beautiful. And I was thinking, I'd love to have that one. And I actually pulled this one. We did this so neat. Donna was in charge of the exchange. I really liked the way she did it because we all brought them out the day we were going to do the exchange, and we put them on a table for everybody to get to go and look at. And so I grabbed my phone and I took a little video. I just walked real slowly down the table so that you could see all of the needle books that were made, and I'll put that in here. There all night. Yeah, I love your lights. So anyone you would have gotten would have been a treasure. I'm telling you, anyone would have been a treasure. But because my friend Donna made this one, it's even more special to me. So I lucked out on that. I'm pretty excited. So I wanted to share that with you. Oh, and the exchange, after we got to see them all afternoon, we got to walk around and see them at our leisure. And then Donna took them all up, put them in beautiful gift bags with gift tissue, but they were all small bags that were the same. So you couldn't tell whose you were getting. There wasn't anything extra in the bag to give it away. You just had to pick a bag. And we had been given a number, just a ticket that was pulled off. As we turned our needlebook in, Donna gave us a ticket. So when it got time for the exchange, they just pulled the ticket numbers out. And when your ticket number was pulled, you went and picked up a bag. As it turned out, I was the next to last one to get my number pulled. And Donna was in charge of that and was having people pull numbers, and she was laughing and teasing everybody that she was torturing her friend Dina by making me go last. She didn't even know she was going to make me go last. It just turned out that way. And of course, Donna was going to take the last one that was there. So we got a real kick out of that mine was the last number called. So when I went over and there were 2 bags left, I just picked them both up and took them over and handed her one. So I'm really tickled that I handed her the one I did. Otherwise, I would have given her her own needle book. So that worked out great. Now, I want to show you something really, really sweet. The theme this year for our retreat was called Red Threads, because red threads bind us together. And the lady who was in charge of the retreat, Carol, read us several notes that she had made about red threads and the history of them and how they had meant significant things in our history and what the color red meant in various times in the past and also in regions of the world, what they meant. But in all cases, it was something that equated to a very close bond of tying people together. And so that's kind of what this weekend was all about. So for our project that we got at the retreat, they had these little bags made up by one of the ladies in the group, and she made every one of us one of these project bags. And in our project bag, we had a pattern that was designed specifically for our retreat, and it was called Sampler Guild of Georgia 2022 Retreat Red Threads, and this was designed by Needlework Press. And so it's a 72 by 72 piece, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it will fit in a 6-inch hoop, which is vitally important. So we were given Vintage Country Mocha, 32 count, to stitch this on, and we were given red floss to stitch it with, and the floss is number 115. It's the beautiful variegated red DMC, if you can see that there. We were given a couple of floss drops that have the pattern on them. There you go. That's what it looks like stitched up. And on the back it says Red Threads TSGG 2022. So there's our floss drop for our thread for this project. And we were even given the material to finish this with. And when I say material to finish it with, I mean more than just this beautiful material to line the top under the design with the batting and the linen to go with it for the bottom. But we were also given a tutorial that was actually published by Vanna Pfeiffer. This was on her website. And the finish is this. It's 6 hoops stacked up, glued together, and the top is hinged to open up. And we were given everything we needed, including sandpaper, hinges, the sponge to do the glue or the stain with. And I want to tell you, even the mounting board that we needed, there were 2 pieces that we needed. We got both of those. And while we were there, if we wanted to stitch it and work on it, they had stains, they had paints, they had all the glue, they had everything you needed. If you wanted to stitch it and fully finish it, you could have walked out of there with the whole thing done. And while we were there, one of the ladies who did stitch it decided that it would look really pretty with these Lady Dot Creates pom-poms around the top. After you put it on the top, the hoops stick out just a fraction, and this fits it perfectly. So, of course, our vendor who was there, Elizabeth from Dames of the Needle, she had a big supply of this, so a lot of us ran up and grabbed it from her shop. So as another gift, the Guild gave us 2 things. They gave us the little parts to make covered buttons. They gave us enough to make 1 large, and they gave us enough to make 2 small, so that if we wanted to make a bag pull out of one of the motifs of our pattern, we could stitch it, and they had the kit to make the covered buttons with right there. And I thought that was just precious. I didn't do any of that because I had goals that I wanted to meet while I was there, and I didn't want to be rushed on this. I wanted to take my time. So my friend Donna and I have talked about, once I get mine stitched, hers is done because she stitched the model. But once I get mine done, we're going to make a date to get together and stain it or fully finish it together. So, because she's already been through it once and she can help me. So I've got all my supplies right here in this stack, and I will keep them together so that I can do that when I'm ready, and I hope to do it in the not too distant future. I think that'd be great. We had at least 2, maybe 3 ladies who immediately started on their project when they got it. and they finished it before they even left, which I thought was great. All right, so I'm going to pause now so that you don't have to listen to all the crinkle of this bag, and I'm going to show you the haul that I bought. Okay. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to share with you is that Elizabeth brought all her blackbird designs that she had, I do believe. And this one I have eyed for some time. You know, I love Christmas. And I picked this one up while at the retreat. So this was my treat for myself as far as patterns. And it is a Christmas piece, and I will probably make it sometime around Christmas. It makes quite a large drum if you put it into a drum. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I may just frame it in a round frame. I don't know. I'll have to measure it and see how big it is. But I just think it's beautiful, and I wanted to grab it while I still could. And then Elizabeth dyes fabric. So I went upstairs just to see what I could find, and I wanted 32 count if I could get it, and I wanted it in an even weave. Elizabeth had Ada, she had the Lugana, and she had linens. She had lots of linen, and she had them in counts up to, I think, 56 or something. I can't even see that, people. I just can't even see it. But anyway, I got a fat quarter of this, and it's called No Clouds. I think it's beautiful. It reminds me of the dwarf blue, picture this plus, quite a bit, but it's a little bit richer, a little bit darker. And I am going to put this away for something that's like on a very dark winter sky. I think it would just be beautiful for that. So I brought this back to the table, and my friend Victoria from Victoria's Crafty Room saw it, and she had brought with her the pattern of the fox that everybody's stitching, the beautiful golden fox. And she took the pattern and put it on this fabric. And she said, that is a contender. So she went upstairs and she looked at a beautiful gray color fabric that a lot of people purchased for that pattern while they were there. And she liked the blue better. So she went and got her some of the same color. It was wonderful. Then I picked up another fat quarter of fabric, and this is called Box Turtle Opalescent. It is 32 count, as I mentioned. It's a Swigart base. They both are. And this is what Box Turtle looks like. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle or not. You might be able to see some of that reflecting in there. But it has, the first thing I saw was greens and a little bit of brown or tan looking. But then when we put it next to my blue fabric, all of a sudden we realized it even had a tint of blue in it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So when I first saw it, I'm thinking fall, fall, fall. And then one of my table mates, Janice, said, put this blue next to it. It brings the blue out. It really did. And she said, you know, that would make a pretty Easter piece as well. So isn't that awesome? Something I thought was just going to be a fall fabric. And now through a friend's different view, different set of eyes, I now know I could do it for Easter too in spring. So it's going to be a piece I'll get a lot of use out of. I'm real excited about that. So that was my haul. And now I have my receipt. I've got to take that out of my Stitch from Stash. The good news is I have some finishes this month. So I have enough to cover that, which is great. So yes, while I was at retreat, one of my goals was to stitch as much as possible on one of my pieces that was close to a finish. There's a prompt in the monthly magazine challenge that said to pick your piece closest to a finish and work on it through that weekend. And I did, and I finished it. So this is Will You Be My Valentine? And I think I have pulled out the chart. Here it is. It's a chart from Thistles. And I finished mine. I stitched mine on a fabric called Blush, and it's a Wilchelt fabric. It's 32 count, And so it's a very pale pink. And I just thought it made those little flowers pop with that little pale pink in them. And I just love it. Absolutely love it. So let me tell you a secret. I got down to 16 stitches left in that beautiful sheep, and I ran out of my floss. Yep, ran out of it. It was oatmeal. It was oatmeal by Gentle Arts. And I had put the entire amount in there from the whole skein that I bought. But that's a big sheep. This is 28 count, so it was pretty big. And I think had I done it on 32, I'd have had plenty. But I had 16 stitches left, and I ran out. So we made an all call to everybody. People had oatmeal at home, but nobody had oatmeal. Our shop, Elizabeth, found an empty card of oatmeal. She had the card, but no floss on it. And she was so disappointed for me. So I went back to downstairs and I pulled up, what would be the DMC equivalent. And I got 712 and 3865. They were both way too light. Anyway, just to let you know, and I'm not going to tell you where it is because you can't tell it. I pulled out another project thinking I was just going to have to stop this with 16 stitches to go. And I pulled out another project to work on it, and I looked and I thought, this roasted marshmallow looks really close. You can't tell the difference. It's as if they're the same color almost. So since it is a bit of a variegated color, it's just slightly variegated. You can barely tell it. I put those 16 stitches in, and then I just turned it around and said, who can tell me where they are? And nobody could. Nobody could find them. So there you are. I've made my finish with the last 16 stitches being in a different color. But they really are that close. You cannot tell the difference. So I have a finish. I'm excited. I have a retreat finish. We did the Steph and Pam ring the bell for the finishes. We had a good time with that. And we had probably 4 or 5 finishes over the weekend, which was wonderful. And isn't it funny, after I finished mine Saturday night, later that evening, one of the other stitchers was trying to finish a sampler that she's been working on off and on for a long time. And she was down to the last flower and ran out of putty, the color putty. We were all doing, the search for the color putty as well. One of the ladies there had it, different dye lot, so it looked a little different. But in a flower, the petals are different shades and different hues a little bit. So you know what? It worked for her, and she was able to finish it as well. So it's great when the whole community comes together and helps you get the finish. It was pretty good for both of us. That was fabulous. So then this morning we stitched, my roommate and I went and checked out early, loaded the car, and we had checked out of our room by 8:30. And that way we knew we had everything done and we could stitch up until the very last minute that we had to leave to come home. So I pulled out the Dogwood lace this morning because, easy, one color, not a lot of color changes, just follow the pattern and go. And when I pulled it out, I realized that I wasn't that far from a page finish on this, all the way across. So as it turned out, I was able to do that. And it wasn't just one page finish, it was 2, because one page went most of the way across, and then there was just this little bit of a page over here, and I was at the very bottom, and there was just a little tiny bit on that one and a little tiny bit on this one. Anyway, I got the page finish. So I had a finish and a page finish at retreat. And here it is. This is my Dogwood lace. You'll notice now I've added in the H. I didn't have that before. And I've extended the motifs next to it down a little bit to start on the next page. In fact, these are on the next page. The page break is right here. And I have stitched all the way across so that I've at least completed the page finish. and which is right here. And so some of them I've gone a little bit below, letting, using the last little bit of my thread that was on my needle. So it's a little uneven, but the design isn't. The design is perfectly square. And I'm loving this, absolutely loving it. And so my friend Donna looked at it and she says, "You've got that halfway done." And then she laughed and she said, "No, you've got more than halfway done." She had the same thought I did recently when I realized I've already done the border. I forget about that. But as far as the inside, I have it half completed. So now I can start working on this quadrant, and then I'll do this quadrant, or vice versa, whichever. And but I'll work one quadrant at a time, and make that happen. I had to frog on this. I got down here, and I had stitched one of these just one stitch lower. I had started off up here, counting off the wrong corner piece on one of them. So I had to frog a little bit of it out and do it over, and now it matches up and it's fine. But I'm just really enjoying this piece. The colors are so pretty together. It's baked apple, and it just looks so pretty on this beautiful cream Lugana. So very, very pleased with that. So that was my stitching progress. Not a lot of things to show you as far as different things, because I really did stitch monogamously on Will You Be My Valentine until it was finished. So I checked today and I am down to 13 active projects. And I think that's wonderful because the Whip Go numbers were called and they were 10 and 7. And I looked at my board and number 10 is Thankful Quaker, which is a new start for me. And number 7 is Gathering Eggs, which is already finished and framed and on my mantle. So yay! I have one new start to work on. So that means I'm still going to try to finish the letter U if I can this month. I've got 4 days left to do it, and I would love to be able to accomplish that Whip Go goal this month, because it was called in this month. And then, of course, I still have the Nativity Angel to finish, but I do think that will take me the year to get that done. So that's my report. I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled about the retreat. I had a wonderful time, and I wanted to share all that with you. And then I also wanted to let you know, my husband sent me videos of Coco all weekend. The first one is of Coco letting him floss her teeth and brush her teeth. She's very good with her dental hygiene, he says. The deal is Coco just came in while he was flossing his teeth not too long ago. I think I put a little video up when he was, just playing with her. And but she wanted it. It's mint flavored and she likes it, and so she's trying to eat it, chew on it, but it looks just like she's flossing her teeth. It's so cute. So then my husband got her a toothbrush that he uses for her, and he brushes her teeth every so often. She doesn't like toothpaste at all, even doggy toothpaste. She doesn't like it, but she'll let him brush on her teeth. And so he did that, and she let him do it just a little bit, but he went ahead. He had set up his phone to capture it for me, and I'm going to include it for you because it's just too cute. Then the last little video of her that I have, he took her to Mutts on Main, which was a dog parade and a vendor event, and just all sorts of different games. The canine patrol dogs were there at one point. It was just a lovely day on Saturday while I was gone to the retreat. And he took Coco, and they got to walk around and visit and meet lots of dogs. And she did really well. She used to be so shy and so afraid. And she was much better this time. She was still just a little overwhelmed with all the smells and all the people and dogs there. But she did a lot better than she's ever done before. So as a reward, he took her to the park, and they walked and played. And then at the end of their walk, he was letting her practice being off leash with him, and he would let her walk. he just dropped the leash and let her walk in front of him. And then as she got too far out, he would call her and ask her to wait for him to stop. And she did. And then when he would get up closer to her, even with her, she would take off again. And they practiced that. So he just grabbed his phone and caught one of the sections where they were doing that. And it's so sweet to see her wait for him and to be so obedient. And so I'll put that in for you as well. And that'll give you some cocoa time. I know some of you love that. And one last thing before I close out. I did have several comments on my last video where I shared my trip about the cruise. And people were asking to see the photos that we had taken on the ship on formal night. They wanted to see us dressed up. So I'll put that here because they were asked for, not because I'm trying to show anything off or be self-centered, but someone wanted to see them. Several people did actually. So I will put those in at the end as well before I put Coco in. And so that's why you'll have a picture of my husband and I all dressed up. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for sharing my stitching journey with me. I don't thank you nearly enough for your interest and for your kind remarks. And so please know that it just warms my heart when I hear from you. At the retreat, a lady came up to me, and when she told me her name, I knew instantly who she was because I had never met her, but I have talked with her back and forth in comments for quite a while. She's a wonderful commenter, and we get to just have a conversation together. And so now I'm so delighted to know who Linda is. And Linda, if you're watching, it was so great to meet you. So that was lovely. I met one other person who came up to introduce themselves because they watched my videos and they knew who I was, even though I didn't know them. And that is great. I really appreciate that. It just makes me feel so special, and it's just an honor. So thank you for doing that. Well, that is my report for today, and because this one is a bit of a long one, I'm going to go ahead and add it to what I have, and I will probably post it up in the next day or two. As soon as I have a chance to get it recorded and edited and ready to go, I'll put it up for you. It'll be quite close to the last one, but I want to do it timely for you. So happy stitching, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week coming up. And until next time, really and truly, I want you to enjoy every stitch. Goodbye.
This is Coco. She's had her bath, and now we're going to floss her teeth. You ready? Floss your teeth. Wait, don't bite the floss. You ready? Floss your teeth. And floss some more. She likes to have her teeth flossed. She's very good about her dental care. One more time. Oh, what a good girl. There you go. Let's floss. Floss in our teeth. Very good this way. I can't see your teeth. There you go. Oh. You like it? Okay. Okay. Let's do this side. All right. Look at the big teeth. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. We brushed our teeth. Oh my goodness. You wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pupsy Dent.
Whoa! Whoa! Wait. Okay, stop. Stay right there. Good girl. Here we go. That was a good stop. All right, let's go.